What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And now we are going to be talking about Tales of the Titans starring Starfire. That's right, this is issue 1 of 4. So this is in connection with the normal ongoing Titans book, but you're just going to get some random tales, kind of like what they did with Tales of the Teen Titans back in the day with each subsequent character. This issue is particularly focused on Starfire, and it is written by Shannon Hale and Dean Hale with art by Javier Rodriguez. And this is just what I'll say. We'll get the positives out of the way first of all. So I like that they're doing this. I haven't exactly been a fan of modern Titans books. I did enjoy The World's Finest one by Mark Waid, but even then, like, that one wasn't quite as good as, like, the main Batman Superman World's Finest. But with Titans related characters, there just hasn't been anything all that special for quite a long time, and it really just has not delivered like worthy stories, I feel, for these characters. With that said, I am glad to see that we are getting a Starfire focused comic book, at least for this first one shot, if you will, because that's what these in essence are, one shots. I don't think any of these storylines or plot threads are necessarily going to be followed up in Tom Taylor's book, because he's kind of focused on something else. Although, given how he's written in, say, like Nightwing, things kind of jump around a bit. So maybe things will be brought up, but this is a pretty much just a standalone side story focused on Starfire doing her normal stuff. So I mean, I like that. I'm glad Corey's getting some spotlight where it's more focused just on her own, and she's dealing with Tamaranean stuff. She doesn't like being called princess or an alien, even though she is a princess and an alien from Earth. It doesn't mean there's anything bad about it, which she has to kind of come to terms with by the end of the issue. But hey, it is what it is. Negatives, Raven. My God, what have they done to you? Like, just every design of her in this comic book, it's just... Raven is one of my favorite characters in all DC Comics, but her art design, I mean, she's barely in this comic book, but every time I see that design that's with that horrible haircut and, like, pink hair and just the way they make her look, I'm just like, who is this for? Like, why is Raven made to look so horrifying? And not in, like, the demon sense, but, like, my goodness. Like, everyone else looks fine in this particular art style. It's just Raven. My goodness, what have they done to her? But in essence, the story is Starfire gets a call to go help out some Tamaranians and deal with some stuff on her other planet. And, you know, she sees, like, this other society, like, everyone kind of looks up to her. She doesn't like being looked up to like this. It deals with her emotions. She's also talking about kind of becoming friends with Barbara Gordon. Then she eventually comes back, like, after she helps out those Tamaranians back on Earth, because the Titans were, you know, facing off against this one character here. And then she kind of comes in, just like one shot, like, knocks her out. And that's kind of where the issue ends in essence. We get to see her friendship with Donna, so that's nice. And, oh, Raven, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. But it kind of ends on a bit of a joke. So, I mean, it's, like I said, it's a quick standalone issue. It was nice to get something focused on Coriander and just to kind of see, like, what she's up to on her own. Because, like I said, I feel like Starfire never gets really any stories just kind of focused primarily on her. I can't remember the last time I just read something where it's just like, oh, look at a Starfire thing. I wouldn't mind her getting an ongoing, like, miniseries or something where it's just kind of her going off maybe across the galaxy, dealing with Tamaranian stuff, or really kind of finding out who she is outside the Titans. I'm sure that's been tackled before, but it's been a long time, so I wouldn't mind something like that for Starfire. I mean, like I said, I'm glad she got a focused storyline, because I don't think Titans is really gonna, like, just have a completely focused arc on her. The artwork, for the most part, is okay. It kind of replicates an older style, which I like that aspect. It felt a little bit more like an older comic book. But Raven, I'm telling you, Raven just does not get the love she deserves. Like, I feel like as a Raven fan, she hasn't been in anything, like, that's really been worthy for her in quite a long time. Even if the story may be good, it's like there's always something, right? Like, the story may not be strong enough, but, like, her design could be good, or the story is not great, or her design just looks horrifying. I know I'm, like, complaining about, like, some really minute details because Raven is barely in this thing, but I just have to address that because I just feel like her haircut and just design of it all is just not the strongest. But like I said, I like the fact that Starfire got a focus comic book, and, you know, as a quick standalone issue, it's not half bad. It has a few things that just didn't really work for me. Like I said, some of the like what kind of like Raven's design and all that. But like I said, that's such a minor detail that she's barely in the book at all, so it's not like a major hindrance, but it's just kind of something that just bugged me a bit with current Titan stuff. But like I said, you don't necessarily have to read this if you're reading the main Titans book, but you know what? Go ahead. Maybe this will lead to more Starfire stuff. So it's not the strongest story we could have had. Some of the jokes don't necessarily land, but I am glad that Coriander had a comic book focused on her. So, like, that's the main takeaway for this. I'm just glad that Starfire had an issue just solely focused on her. Yeah, the other Titans do make an appearance, but it just makes me want to see more just Starfire storylines that kind of deal with her lineage and her going off on her adventures and all that, seeing her protective of people and coming to terms with who she is a little bit more and outside of maybe the Titans. So that's the stuff I want to see more of with Starfire's character, because I feel like that hasn't really been tackled in a long time, and this issue is the closest we've really kind of gotten to like more of what I want to see with her character, if you will. So not great, but not bad, you know, all right for the most part. It's not something I'm going to generally like go back and read and think is the most exciting thing, but I am happy to see Starfire get some attention in this regard. So, because I feel like it's been a really long time. So I'm saying I'm slightly thumbs up just for the fact that Starfire got something. I do think it could have been a bit stronger, but I mean, all things considered, this isn't a half bad comic book. Like I said, it was nice to see Starfire get some attention. That's my main takeaway with it. The storyline is fine. It's her helping people out, showing her compassionate side. Although, like, her, like, being so annoyed at being called princess and an alien and all that. Yeah, look, I mean, those are the facts, lady. That's, you are from another planet, and that's considered an alien on Earth. Not to say that's a bad thing. Just like being called a princess. But the people were like, hey, it's Princess Coriander. I don't want to be called that. But then at the end, she's like, you know what? Maybe it just means like a positive thing. And that's what others kind of looked at it as. And she has to come to terms with it. So like, that's not that bad. But yeah, it is what it is. So if you have any thoughts on this particular issue, let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all the other fun stuff. And that's going to wrap it up for my DC comic book reviews for the week. I will be back again with other related videos coming out later on. I just want to get this thing out of the way because, well, I just need to finish up the comic book reviews for this week. So a quick marathon of like doing like how many issues did we cover? Like 7 in 2 days. So I feel like that's pretty good. Like way more on top of things than I was last week with all the busyness I had to deal with. So good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right, well, as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.